Opening strike, the arrogance of predators. The first shot was not subtle. It came as a spear of plasma that tore through the Terran colony ship Aurora Dawn, splitting its spine and scattering thousands of civilians into the void. The attackers, the Zyrak Dominion, were no strangers to brutality. A species bred on a volcanic world, their culture revered violence. They had risen from lava-scorched craters and toxic storms, and they considered themselves the galaxy's true Deathworlders. To them, humanity was a mistake, too soft, too fragile, too dependent on fragile metal shells and breathable atmospheres. The Zyrak fleet commander broadcast his words across the comms, his voice like molten stone grinding through iron. You claim Deathworld heritage, you claim resilience, yet you weep for colonies like hatchlings. Watch as your people burn and know the Dominion has judged you unworthy. The wreckage of the Aurora Dawn flared behind him, a funeral pyre against the stars. The Zyrak believed they had made their point. Mockery of the fallen. In the aftermath, the Dominion gathered in council chambers carved into mountains of obsidian. The lords of the Zyrak feasted on the slaughter, replaying the destruction across vast hollow halls. They mocked humanity's diplomacy, derided their peace treaties, and spat venom at Earth's councils of restraint. The humans speak of law, one baron sneered. They write treaties instead of sharpening claws, another laughed. Their fleets are scattered toys, their weapons outdated, their resolve brittle. In their arrogance, they broadcast celebrations across neutral channels. Alien empires watched the spectacle, some in horror, others with grim approval. Humanity, they assumed, would complain, posture, and fade into silence. No one imagined Earth would answer. Silence before the storm. But silence has weight. Silence is not weakness. For 3 months, Earth said nothing. There were no fiery speeches, no immediate retaliatory strikes. Colonies mourned, fleets stayed docked, and humanity bowed its head. And that silence unsettled the galaxy far more than rage would have. The Galactic Council demanded Earth show restraint. Old allies offered condolences but urged caution. Even enemies whispered, wary of what might come. The Dominion laughed at all of it. They saw silence as submission. But on Earth, deep under the ice-buried bunkers of old war bunkers, doors groaned open. Vaults sealed since the Third Global Conflict lit up with ancient power. Shipyards that had slept for decades roared back to life. Humanity was not preparing for war. Humanity was summoning vengeance. The response, Deathworld calls to Deathworld. The first sign came at the edge of the Kuiper Belt. Zyrak raiders, drunk on victory, detected a single Terran transmission. A voice, cold and measured, echoed through the dark. This is Earth Command. You took our children. You mocked our silence. Now you will know what a true Deathworld breeds. And then the signal cut. From behind Pluto's shadow, something stirred. Dreadnoughts older than empires rose, their hulls scarred by wars forgotten, their cannons glowing like captive suns. Beside them sailed newer beasts, ships bristling with rail cannons, plasma lances, and weapons so classified no name was given. The Terran fleets spread their wings. Not one system, not one shipyard, the entire species had answered. Humanity did not simply mobilize, they unleashed. The Black Armada. When the Terran Armada arrived at the Dominion border, suns vanished behind their numbers. Entire sectors dimmed as fleets eclipsed starlight. The Zyrak scrambled to rally. They had thought themselves Deathworlders, but their fleets were scattered, their defenses built for raids and intimidation. They had never faced a species that treated total war as instinct. The first battle lasted 9 minutes. 9. 9 minutes for orbital bombardments to turn fortresses into molten glass. 9 minutes for rail cannons to tear carriers into shrapnel. 9 minutes for the Dominion's pride to burn away. The galaxy listened in horror as Terran comms cut across every channel. "We are Deathworlders. You forgot that. You thought we were prey. Today you learn humanity does not forgive." Retribution without end. What followed was not war. War implies sides, battles, chance. This was extermination. Human drop forces descended like storms, their boots cracking alien soil, their armor blackened with ash. Zyrak soldiers, fierce predators on their own world, found themselves hunted in their strongholds. Terran Marines used fire and silence as weapons. No battle cries, no wasted threats, only the thunder of orbital strikes and the whispers of knives in the dark. Fleet by fleet, system by system, the Dominion collapsed. Their volcanic capitals, once eternal flames, were drowned under seas of glass. The galaxy had seen humanity fight wars before, but this was different. This was species-level vengeance, and it was merciless. The annihilation of the Zyrak. The final stand of the Dominion came above their homeworld. A massive fleet, hundreds of ships, clawing against the inevitable. The Terran armada met them in silence. No speeches, no ultimatums, just the opening of fire. The battle lasted 42 minutes. That was all. 42 minutes for a species that had ruled half a quadrant to fall into ruin. When the orbital bombardments began, the volcanic skis of Zyrak Prime turned black. Firestorms raged across continents. Mountains split. Oceans boiled. At the heart of the chaos, a single Terran dreadnought transmitted the last words the Zyrak ever heard. "When two Deathworld species meet, only one walks away." Then the world cracked. Aftermath, the weight of silence. When it was done, Earth said nothing. No boasts, no victory parades. Humanity simply stopped. The Armada returned to the void, its purpose fulfilled. The galaxy trembled in that silence. Where once humans had been seen as diplomats, builders, explorers, now they were known as executioners, not because they wanted war, not because they hungered for conquest, but because patience, once broken, gave way to wrath that could not be measured. Alien empires whispered in fear, "Never provoke Earth again." The lesson burned into history was simple. The Dominion had believed they were Deathworlders. They had believed they alone carried the scars of survival. But survival is not proof of strength. Survival is only the beginning. Humanity carried not just the instinct to endure, but the will to avenge. Closing echo, infinite vengeance. In the centuries that followed, no empire dared raise claw or cannon against a human colony again. The ruins of Zyrak Prime stood as a black monument, a warning etched in glass and ash. Children of other species grew up with stories of humans who carried storms inside their hearts. Council chambers fell silent when Terran envoys entered. Fleets shifted course when Terran ships appeared on sensors. The galaxy learned a truth it would never forget. Humanity's patience is vast. Humanity's silence is heavy. Humanity's vengeance is infinite. And so, when two Deathworld species met, only one walked away.